want to close off here just talking a little bit about social media. Everybody here probably awfully interested in that topic, and especially Facebook. Is Facebook the next Google is the question that everybody asks. And hopefully this chart, for those of you at the back of the room, you can see the big blue lines, and you're probably having trouble seeing the little tiny green line at the bottom. That's sort of the point of this chart. At this time, Facebook's nowhere near the Google revenue ramp. But I want to talk a little bit about social networking and what data we're seeing. A couple things that I probably should get on before we talk to this chart. First of all, social networking feels like a huge thing. It's a lot of ads. You can see that. 27% of US online display ads. All social network ads in 2011 will be about $4 billion, which is not nothing, but it's 2/3 of 1% of global ad sales, right? It's still awfully early days yet. These guys have not hit the level of materiality in terms of global ad spend. But even though we talk about that, one of the other things that's really important to understand about this is that the average revenue per user on social networks is very low. You know, most cell phone companies have an ARPU of about $45 per month. Social networking companies from ads have an ARPU of $3 per year. The value to any social network, including Facebook, of any individual subscriber is only about $3 worth of ads. And what's been driving that is, although the volumes are really, really high, 27% as you can see, the CPM, the cost per thousand impressions that Facebook has been able to charge, that MySpace, that all the social networks have been able to charge, very low. Most of you will probably know. A newspaper ad, you pay for every 1,000 people that see the ad, you pay about roughly $45 for every 1,000 people that see an ad. Online, you're paying for a high-end site like maybe New York Times, Wall Street Journal, maybe $10 for every 1,000. Average website, probably more like $3, $4, or $5. Facebook is 55 cents CPM. And that's a really powerful thing. We have a new entrant in the world of advertising. It's called social networking. They have essentially no market share today, less than 1%. Their marginal cost of production is zero. Now, I'm not going to tell you the ad business. You guys are in retailing. You know it better than I do. But I will tell you that as a technology analyst for more than 20 years, every time I follow an industry where there is a new player in town with zero marginal cost and no market share, they always have the same response. They grow volumes and they drop price. Therefore, our prediction on this one for the end of the year is that we are going to continue to see that CPM fall, maybe 40 cents by the end of this year. Volumes will rise. Facebook will serve over 4 trillion. Yes, that's not a typo. 4 trillion display ads this year. So, none of which is to say that Facebook is a bad idea or it's not going to succeed or it can't get to the same size as Google, just that it won't do so through purely ad revenues. How might it do it as a platform? I'm going to close off just by really quickly using an example. I know you folks are retailers rather than tech geeks, so this may be a danger. Does anybody here remember 1989 and connecting to the internet over something called either Eudora or FTP? Anybody? Couple smiles, there we go. That was a long time ago, eh? That was all at the level of TCP IP. Remember entering IP addresses? Boy, that was dull. When we look at the world of the internet, in 1990, Mosaic came along, and all of a sudden there was this layer called HTTP, and nobody ever saw TCP IP again. Everybody here who remembers DOS, remember entering CD /? Nobody uses that because Windows sits on top of it. Could Facebook become a layer of the internet that disintermediates the layers underneath it? Can we spend all or virtually all of our time on a social network and gain access to retailers, to content, to messaging, to currency, all through that? Answer, yes, Facebook is doing all those things.